Preparation is the key to your success. I'm sure all of you all have heard this phrase at some point in your life. Now, when I was a kid in high school, my basketball coach used to say this to us all the time. Preparation is the key to your success, and over the years, I've discovered there's a lot of truth to that statement. See, one thing I realize is this, is that we can tell people all day that we have a vision of accomplishing this or accomplishing that. But when we have an opportunity to prove to others that we believe that we can make that vision happen in our life, our preparation will show in our opportunity, and at that moment, people will know if you are prepared through action or not. Several years ago, I decided to sub at this high school, and I had a junior and senior level math class. Now, right before the class started, the teacher sent me a text message and told me that she would be emailing the class a review that they could work on right before the test. Now, another thing she told me was that the review itself would be the test, but she did not want me to let the class know that. So when the bell rang, the students started coming in, and it's this one particular student that I've been knowing for a long time since he was in middle school. We're going to call him Jabari. Jabari walked up to me. Now, he's a muscular football player, and he looked at me and said, "Hey, Mr. Mosley, I can bench press 300 pounds now." I was like, "That's great, but how are your grades?" He said, "I'm doing better in my classes." I said, "You know what? That's good to hear. But if you want to go to that next level, you have to make sure you continue to do just as good in the classroom as you've been doing in the weight room." So Jabari told me, he said, "You know what? I'm doing good in my classes, but I have to pass this math class, because if I don't pass the last 2 tests in this class, I will not be a senior next year." And I said, "Well, that's good to know. I am going to let you know you're about to get a review from your teacher, so it will be wise if you sit down and you actually work on a review before you get your test today." The tardy bell rang, and Jabari and the rest of the class, they sat in their seats, and I explained to the rest of the students the same thing I told Jabari. You will have a review coming into your email, so make sure you take advantage of this opportunity. Now, it was a 90-minute class, so they had an hour to fill out the review and study for the test. And as I was looking at it, I can tell those that were taking the review seriously, and I could tell those that wouldn't. And Jabari was one of those individuals, because as I'm looking at him, he's sitting over there talking, he playing on his cell phone, he's joking around. Now, I could have stopped him at that moment and remind him that if he does not pass his last 2 tests, he is not going to be a senior. But I let him keep on doing it. I let him have a good time. And when the hour was up, I told the class, "Listen, you have to take everything off your desk. You cannot have your computer, you cannot have your cell phone, and you cannot have your review sheet." And so then I walked through to every student, and I gave them a paper copy of the test, which was identical to the review itself. Now, it was pretty easy to tell who had prepared themselves and who didn't, because the individuals that prepared themselves, they were smiling like a little kid in a candy store, and those that did not prepare themselves, like Jabari, they was looking confused, they was looking frustrated, they had frowns on their face. So they had 30 minutes to finish the test. When the bell rang, I told everybody to bring me their test. They came up one by one, put them on the desk, and Jabari was the last individual. So I asked Jabari, I said, "Jabari, how'd you do in your test?" He said, "Oh, Mr. Mosley, I failed. I wasn't even able to finish the last half of the test itself." And I asked him, I said, "Why did you fail?" He said, "Well," I said, "I'm going to tell you why you failed. See, when I was sitting up here, I noticed that you was joking around, you was playing on your cell phone, you wasn't taking it seriously, and that's why you failed this test." So it's something I want you to always remember, that no matter what you say you want to accomplish in life, no matter what opportunities you get, your preparation will show in your opportunities. And so Jabari looked at me and he said, "You know what, Mr. Mosley, you're right. I'm going to go to tutoring, and I'm going to prepare myself so next time I could pass my test." You see, Jabari represents many of us. We have opportunities that will come in our life that will help us to realize the vision that we say we want to live in our lives. But it doesn't matter what we say. When we get that opportunity to make that thing happen, if we have not prepared ourselves, everybody that we told that we wanted this thing to happen in our life will know we're not to be taken seriously. So what I've learned over the years is that there are 3 things that you can do that will help you prepare yourselves when you get an opportunity to realize the dream and the goals that you have. And the first thing is you have to be crystal clear on what you want, but you also must have a why to back it up. You see, Jabari was crystal clear that he wanted to be in senior, and he was crystal clear that he wanted to be a great football player. But he didn't have a strong why behind that, because if he did, he would have taken care of his business when he was in the classroom. He would not have allowed a test to hold him back. And the second thing we have to do is we have to assign time to work on our vision. So if you say that you want to write a book, for example, and you telling everybody you want to be a New York Times bestseller, well, if you block out 30 minutes a day to actually work on that book, that will help you to be successful as an author and eventually realize that dream of being a New York Times bestseller. And the third thing is execute, because a lot of us, we can make a plan, but we don't execute it. In order way for you to stick to your plan, you must execute your plan. And the only way you can do that is through self-discipline, by doing things even if you're distracted or you don't even feel like it. So if you want things to happen for you, if you want to make your goals become a reality, if you want to live your dreams, you must prepare yourself. And always remember, your preparations will show in your opportunities.